All right, here we go. Jemele Hill, welcome back.
I know. This is my third time? My
Second time.
Second time. Okay.
Second time. You were here about a year and a half ago. Congratulations on getting married since
Thank
then.
you. Appreciate it.
And you have a new show as well on Vice.
Yeah, a new show with Cari Champion called Stick to Sports. Very much an ironic title because especially over the last, 4 or 5 years, I would say, post kind of Colin Kaepernick, there was a very loud, I would like to believe a minority that continued to tell athletes, black athletes in particular, to just stick to sports. And certainly as these social issues became more prominent in terms of athletes discussing them, I was told to stick to sports, as was Cari, many, many times. And so this is our way of giving a middle finger to all those people who said, stick to sports, because that's not even possible today.
Yeah, when I first heard the title, I thought, shut up and dribble.
Yes. So. Yeah. Right along the same lines, right? So yeah, it's a definitely, though this is not a sports show necessarily, it is sort of a nod to the people who were wrong about that conversation needing to end.
Yeah, and you have another show with Lathan about The Wire.
Yeah.
When I read that, I'm like, wait, did I just read that wrong? Let me rub my eyes and nope, that's the show.
I get paid to watch TV, right? It's like, who knew, despite that journalism degree, that this would be what I was really good at. But no, it's a fun show. Van's a great partner, and we just break down every single episode of The Wire. And it's, I think for Wire fans, people saw that when The Wire, people know this, like when The Wire was on television, it did not draw good ratings at all. And it kind of got its flowers after the series was over or toward the end of the series. So for a lot of Wire fans, they never got that satisfaction of what we saw happen with Game of Thrones, or even what we saw happen with the Sopranos, of there just being this outright community being able to discuss everything that happened on the show. And this is a way for Wire fans to do that, and even those who've always wanted to watch The Wire, because we're very careful about spoiler alerts, even though the series is as old as it is. But we want people to experience this, especially now, because one thing I realized in the rewatch is The Wire holds up exceptionally well to today, and in many issues that are discussed and broken down in The Wire, it's ahead of its time. So. Holds up amazingly well, and I'm just really happy to be involved with it.
Yeah, I think The Wire is what introduced the U.S. audience to Idris Elba.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not saying that was his first show or whatever.
Right. But that's when he became a star.
That's when he became an American star.
An American star,
he was already a British star, but I didn't even realize he was British until like way after.
Same. I did not know. Yeah, I didn't know Idris Elba was British at all while I was watching The Wire, and I was trying to think of what point I may have figured it out. I know it was before The Office. I feel like it was somewhere between after The Wire and before he started appearing on The Office. But this was a huge break in his career, and especially the type of character that he played. When you look at the kind of characters that he plays now, it just kind of speaks to his talent and versatility.
Yep. Well, I can't really start the conversation without mentioning Jacob Blake getting shot 7 times in the back by a police officer, trying to break up a fight, from what I understand. He wasn't even committing a crime. And someone sent me that video before, the rest of the world really got it. And you're just watching it going like, okay, am I missing something? Is there something in a different angle that maybe I'm not seeing? Or does this look like almost an execution in a way? When you first saw that video, what'd you think?
I tried to avoid the video because I've gotten to the point where I can't really watch those videos anymore. Because I don't want to become desensitized to it. I don't want to pretend it's normal. But also, it's just the despair, the heartbreak, being a black person in America and knowing that every time you have any interaction with the police, your life is in jeopardy, is a very sobering feeling. It's a depressing feeling, and I don't even think the word depressing even does it justice. But because the video obviously exploded over social media, I was able to see enough of it to know what happened. And much like with George Floyd, much like with Ahmaud Arbery, and that's just 2020. I mean, we have seen this so repeatedly before social media brought more attention to these kinds of incidents, we've just become a society where the brutalization of black bodies is the expectation. And I don't know how people can continue to watch these and it turns into a debate. That's the sickening part about it, is that Jacob Blake is fighting for his life. He's paralyzed, and there are people still debating whether or not it was justified what happened to him. That's where we are in this country, you know. And so, unfortunately, this is very much in line with history, and not just the history of policing between black and brown communities and the police, but the history of how black people have been treated in this country. People don't like to hear it, but it is historically accurate that the police formed from slave catchers. And there is a long line of black people being brutally punished for the smallest of infractions. And so I am often astounded by people who are searching for a justification for this, as if even if you do speak back to the police, even if you don't comply with what they say, that the just penance is being executed on the street, executed in front of your 3 children. Because even if you thought that there was a way he could have behaved differently in this interaction, was his crime, quote unquote, so bad that he deserved to be almost murdered in front of his children? And that's the part that is so in line with history, where black people have been punished harder, sentenced harder, where anything done to us has been deemed acceptable by the law and in the eyes of too many people in this country.